All right, today we're going to be reading the book Timothy Goes to School by Rosemary Wells. Before we do that, though, we need to, in our reading journals, on our next blank page, I want you guys to draw a line straight down the middle and then straight across the middle so that you have 4 boxes on this page now. And what I want you to do in that first box on the top is write a number 1. Box next to it, we're going to write a number 3. Or I'm sorry, a number 2. First box on the bottom, we're going to write a number 3. And then we're going to write a number 4. Okay. At the top of this page, let's write Timothy goes to school. So when you look back at this, we know which story this was from. We will come back to this in just a few minutes, so go ahead and you can scooch that out of the way if you want to. And we're going to read the book Timothy Goes to School by Rosemary Wells. Now, Rosemary Wells is an author that we met last year in kindergarten. She introduced to us Max and Ruby and Sophie. Hopefully you guys remember those characters from last year. And she writes stories about characters that are a lot like boys and girls, even though a lot of her characters are animals. So the characters in Rosemary Wells' story think, play, and talk just like people, even though they're animals. So on the cover, we see Timothy right here. He's the main character of this book. We also see his name in the title, so we know that he's very important for this story. And just by seeing him on the cover, I can learn a lot about how Timothy looks by looking closely at the illustration. I can see that he's a raccoon. He's got a striped tail. He wears clothes like a person. He's short. And I'm going to guess he's short because he's standing on a chair so he can reach the chalkboard. He's got claws and not hands, again because he's an animal. He's wearing blue and white striped coveralls and a red shirt. So I can describe all of those things about Timothy just by looking at the picture on the cover. Okay, so using our pictures and our illustrations is very, very important to be able to describe our characters. All right, so let's start reading. We're only going to read part of this book today, and then tomorrow we'll finish with the second part. So we have Timothy Goes to School. Here's another character. This is Timothy's mom. Okay, so let's look closely at the picture. What can we learn about Timothy and his mother from just looking at this picture? Go ahead and pause the video for a minute and share with your learning coach. What do you think you can learn about Timothy and his mother? Timothy's mother made him a brand new sunsuit for the first day of school. "Hooray!" said Timothy. So the words have given us some more details about Timothy and his mother. Okay, we know that what he's wearing was made by his mom. And with Timothy saying, "Hooray!" we know that he's excited to be wearing this sunsuit to school. Timothy went to school in his new sunsuit with his new books and his new pencil. "Good morning," said Timothy. "Good morning," said Mrs. Jennings. "Timothy," said Mrs. Jenkins, "this is Claude. Claude, this is Timothy. I'm sure you'll be the best of friends." Hello, said Timothy. Nobody wears a sunsuit on the first day of school, said Claude. All right, so I'm going to stop right there for a second. We know that when an author writes a story, they have a setting or a place where the story takes place. The setting on this page is in school. And I know this because I see desks that the kids are sitting in. I see the big alphabet behind them. I see some books. And Timothy seems really happy to be at school on this page. Do you see that? He's got that big smile on his face. So what I want us to do is get out our reading journals. Remember how we made our 4 boxes? So what I want you to do in the first box is we're going to draw a picture of how Timothy feels at this point. Okay, so remember, he was pretty happy to be at school right now. So in that first box, I'm going to draw a big happy face, because Timothy is happy right now to be at school. Okay. So we can tell this by the illustrations in our book and the words that the author is using, right? Timothy's introducing himself. He walks in, says hello to his teacher. He is excited and happy to be there. So he meets Claude. Hello, says Timothy. Nobody wears a sunsuit on the first day of school, says Claude. During playtime, Timothy hoped and hoped that Claude would fall into a puddle. But he didn't. So we've met a new character, Claude. How would you describe Claude? Go ahead and pause the video for a second and describe Claude to your learning coach. All right, so we might say that Claude is a raccoon, that he's bigger than Timothy. He's dark brown and wears a green suit to school. You might have also said that Claude was kind of rude or kind of mean. And we can tell by the pictures that it looks like Claude's pretty good at soccer. But do you notice something different about Timothy's face? Let me go back a page. So here we saw Timothy really, really happy and excited. And then Claude tells him we don't wear sunsuits to school. And what do we notice about Timothy's face? His smile has disappeared. So what I want you guys to do, get your reading journals back out, and in your second box, draw a face that shows how Timothy is feeling right now. We know he's not happy anymore, but how's he feeling now? When Timothy came home from school, his mother asked, "How was school today?" "Nobody wears a sunsuit on the first day of school," said Timothy. "I will make you a beautiful new jacket," said Timothy's mother. Timothy wore his new jacket the next day. "Hello," said Timothy to Claude. "You're not supposed to wear party clothes on the second day of school," said Claude. Oh no. So Timothy was happy and excited again. And then Claude says, you don't wear party clothes to school. So how do you think his face is going to change? Do you think it's going to change like it did before, from happy back to sad? All day, Timothy wanted and wanted Claude to make a mistake. But he didn't. So how would you describe Timothy now? Has anything changed? Have we discovered what might be the problem in this story? Talk with your learning coach real quick. If anything has changed, or what might be the problem. When Timothy got home, his mother asked, "How did it go?" "You're not supposed to wear party clothes on the second day of school," said Timothy. "Don't worry," said Timothy's mother. "Tomorrow, you just wear something in between, like everyone else." All right, so we're going to stop reading our story right here for today, and we'll finish the second half tomorrow. But before we stop, if someone asks you right now how Timothy's day is going at school, how would you answer? And what makes you say that? Okay. So in your journal, in your third box, I want you to draw another face about how Timothy feels right now. So he's gone to school for 2 days. Kind of the same thing has happened both days. How does Timothy feel right now? So go ahead and draw that third face. And tomorrow we will read the second part of Timothy Goes to School.